Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Burger. I'm Caroline Romo, the Executive Director of the New Mexico Beef Council. I'm here in Ruidoso with Sybrand Vander Dussen and the president, right, of New Mexico Dairy Producers.
Yes, ma'am.
Or Dairy Producers of New Mexico,
Yes.
excuse me. And a dairyman and a beef on dairy producer and all the things. Will you introduce yourself and tell us about your operation?
So my name is Sybrand Vander Dussen. I'm milking about 4,000 cows on a dairy called Legendary.
Oh, that's cute.
Because it is legendary. We've been on that farm since 2013, I believe. It's been a fun ride, and I enjoy doing what I'm doing, taking care of cows, taking care of my guys that take care of the cows, and just keep on moving forward in a way that is, trying to keep the environment clean and raising good, healthy cattle for people to consume. And I love what I do with my 5 other brothers that we keep on moving on and keep trying to progress and do great things.
I love that. And already you kind of started people first, right? You take care of the cows and then you take care of the people. That's perfect.
If you don't take care of your guys, I need them to be happy, because if they're not happy, they're not going to take great care of my cows. And I need cows around to pay the bills and to pay their paychecks. So it's a game where you just have to keep everybody on a good footing and keep everybody happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Tell me about your family. So you've got 5 brothers that are also dairymen.
I got 5 brothers that are involved with me on Legend and on their own farms. We kind of have like a little bit of where we own a little piece of every one of them. It works good. We get some family drama every now and then, but what family doesn't? And we just we work very well together for the most part, and it's seems like to be a growing operation, and it's a good family event. I only got one brother that's not involved, which is my brother Jared, and he's a lawyer, so he does some of our lawyer stuff that we need to do, but he's not quite as directly involved. And we just we got a really good family dynamic going in, and making sure that we all succeed.
I love that. That's so important. And man, everybody needs a lawyer in the family, or everybody could use a lawyer in the family.
It does come in nice. He doesn't do any criminal law, so if we get in that problem, we might be in trouble.
Yeah, try not to break the laws.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great. That's great. What's the most rewarding part of being in the agriculture industry?
I think the most rewarding part of being in the agriculture industry is we make a great product that people need and that they love, and it's healthy for them. And I feel good about what I do when I wake up in the morning to create good products for people that need them. And I don't know what a more rewarding job would be than to be working with agriculture and creating food and creating great lifestyles for people to put on their dinner plate and to move forward. And just, yeah, I like to do what I do. I like playing with my cows. I mean, my wife, she's a great person, and she tells everybody, oh yeah, he has 5,000 mistresses over at his dairy. They come a calling, and he goes a running. I mean, they get pedicures, and they get pedicures, veterinarian. They got a nutritionist. It's like, hey, where's my pedicure and nutritionist? I don't know.
Yeah, the cows get the best care, right?
Oh,
I love that.
We love to try to give them the best care as possible, and we try to move forward and just keeping them healthy and giving them a well-balanced diet so they could, live happy life as a cow.
What's an example of something you do and maybe it's the pedicures, but what's an example of how you care for them?
Oh, so I mean, just let's say manure handling. It's kind of, some people are like, oh, gross, whatever. But manure handling's kind of fun. I got a brand new toy to play with. It just picks up the manure, it scrapes it up right behind the tractor. We're running that behind these cows every day. Just keep things clean. Where else? Oh, bedding. We are trying to make our beds so nice for the cows, and you may be laughing, but we take bedding, we run a rake through it at least try to do it at least 3 to 4 times a week through all the pens and fluff it up and give them a nice place to lie down and feel good and make sure, just have clean waters for them.
Oh yeah, those are great examples. I know. Um, I went to a dairy one time and they talked about it, like a luxury resort because their bed gets fluffed, the manure, the room gets cleaned, and all of the things. It's like all inclusive.
Oh, well, cows like to be clean for the most part.
Yeah, yeah, I
I
love
mean,
that.
most part, I got a few, ones that always try to buck the system, but I guess that's kind of normal in any type of thing.
Yeah, yeah. There's always some outliers in any situation. What's one of the biggest challenges you all face in your operation?
Oh, well, one of the biggest challenges was trying to keep my guys happy and to move them forward, that they can progress and that I can move them up in positions so they could keep excelling.
Being an employer, right? You're not just raising cows, you're also an employer and having to.
Well, I mean, you feel responsible for their families and to them, because I want to make sure that they can survive and do what they need to do to have a family and live the American dream for the most part.
Oh yeah, and with everything increasing in costs, benefits cost more, salaries and all of that. So you're trying to make sure that you're doing a good job to make sure that groceries aren't too expensive, right? Life is so expensive.
Yeah, I wish I could help bring down prices, but
Yeah, we're not in that game.
no, I'm not in that game. But um, yeah, I mean, I try to go and I give my guys cheese. I don't have any beef to ever give them. I don't know. I might have to talk to you about that one.
Yeah, always giving them cheese though.
Yeah, I give them cheese right around Christmas time. I enjoy them. Like, this is from the milk that we produced on this dairy. Well, kind of,
Yeah,
but
that's
you know,
rewarding though.
but so we make great healthy products for kids and to make people smile with a happy deal of cheese.
I love that. And so does most of the milk that you produce go into cheese? Is that kind of where yours, or where does your milk go?
So the milk that comes out of my farm is generally going to Southwest Cheese, which is a very large cheese plant in Clovis, New Mexico. I mean, they're taking in close to 285 loads a day. A load is 6,000 gallons. So I think it's like 3 million ton, or yeah, 3 million tons, about 3 million pounds of raw milk a day.
Yeah, that's a lot of milk.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
lot of
that's
cheese. Cheese consumption is super high, right? I don't know what the per capita rate is, but people eat a lot of cheese.
oh well, it's good stuff.
Yeah, it's great. It's great for you too. Um, what's one thing most people don't know about having cattle in New Mexico, or just kind of what you do?
Well, I think cattle like New Mexico. We got great weather for cattle. It's really nice when it rains, but the dry weather that we have here, the dry climate, cows really enjoy that. They're not too much of a person. They don't want tropical heat. That makes them miserable. And nice thing about New Mexico is we get down to this, 70 degrees every night, and it really takes the heat stress off these cows, and it unburdens them during the summer more so than a lot of other places in the United States, just because we don't have the humidity.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Cows love that, and we even like their feet, right? If it's too wet, then they can get issues with their feet, right, or issues with anything.
Yeah, I mean, nobody wants to sit in wet socks all day. Same thing, they don't want to sit on a wet mattress. So as soon as it rains, we try to go and get everything dried out as fast as we can, and fill up any holes that may have occurred from cows digging in the ground, because they do that sometimes. But uh, the dryness out here makes for open lot dairies where cows can go out inside and enjoy the nice days that we have in eastern New Mexico, and we have a lot of them. Well, we have a lot of them in New Mexico just in general.
Yeah, lots of days of sunshine. Absolutely. And can you tell me about kind of the beef on dairy? Do you guys raise beef calves as well?
Yes, we raise beef calves. We raise them to about 600 pounds, sometimes four to 600, just depending on what our facility can handle. We don't want to overcrowd or undercrowd, and so we just kind of move that along the way as we can. And beef on dairy, it's been running strong for probably about 10 years. It's really gained a lot of traction, I'd say, in the last 5. It is something that has changed the dairy industry, probably changed the beef industry, just in a new way of how we could do it. But we can come up with beef every single month on the dairy for calves coming in to sustain our grocery stores, to make it so we don't have to freeze meat, and you could get that fresh beef coming in to be consumed.
Absolutely, that consistency and readily available calves is an important
Yeah,
part of the
consistency,
yeah,
quality.
all the things.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, what is something you're excited about in your operation right now?
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This episode of Behind the Burger is brought to you by the New Mexico Beef Council. At NMBC, we're all about supporting New Mexico's ranchers and bringing the story of beef to life, from pasture to your plate. If you're enjoying these conversations, be sure to follow us on social media to keep the journey going. You'll find us on Instagram and TikTok at NMBeef and on Facebook at NM Beef Council. We're sharing ranch life, beef tips, recipes, and the people behind the plate. Come be part of the story.
Oh, my operation, I'm excited that I have a lot of feed available right now. That we were able to have a good amount of corn silage coming off the end of last summer, and it's going to make things a lot easier. I hope we get some more rain to finish off this crop that we have right now. We'll see what the good Lord brings us.
Yeah, yeah. It's every time we talk to a producer, it's the normal question to say, "Have you had any rain?" But sometimes I cringe as I ask. I don't really want to know. I'm scared because it's New Mexico and a lot of folks are hurting for some rain, right?
Yeah, a lot of force. We've been pretty lucky lately. We've been getting a couple small rain showers. So
Oh, good. We love that. We love to hear it. What's the best advice? What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
best piece of advice. That's a hard one. I've received a lot of good advice over the years, and I think the biggest one is just make sure to try to keep your people happy and to keep them involved. And when you go and make a decision, you give it to them a couple weeks beforehand, and then tell them, okay, this is going to change. Think about it. Ask them, have your employees input on any changes you're going to make. So that way they can see if there's going to be any problems and they can think how it's going to work through. And I think that's the best way.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great advice and a great way to be an employer.
Yeah, I almost don't even think I should call them employees. I should call them team members.
Yeah, that's a great way. Great point of view. Absolutely.
Because it is a team to go together to put that amount of cows through a barn and have all the different puzzle pieces fit together. It's a teamwork operation.
Absolutely, and that's an important culture. That you're part of a team. You feel like you're getting that end product. When you eat that cheese at Christmas, you know you're a part of the team that made it happen, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's sweet. What's your favorite part of your job?
My favorite part of my job is, I don't, my favorite part is you go in the morning and you get yourself your little coffee drink, and I'm driving around the facility and everything's looking like it's clicking, and I'm seeing these guys doing this over here with this group of cows, and I walk through the barn and everything's running fine, and I'm like, yeah, this is enjoyable. Just being able to make the operation run as efficiently and smoothly as possible is a joy for me, and I like to make it always work better.
I love that. That's great. That constant improvement is a good thing. Tell us about a time you learned a hard lesson.
Learned a hard lesson. Oh, well, I put in some solar panels in over at the dairy, trying to be a little bit greener and make it work. And I didn't quite go as far as I should have on venting the company that put it in. And we got about 3/4 of the way done. And I had they went out of business, and I had to find somebody to come in and pick up the slack. And that was a real hard lesson. That one hurt a little bit.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
so now when I go and I deal with anybody, I verify them, make sure they have
Vendor selection is a much
vendor selection. But I
longer
mean,
process.
it came out fine in the end. I found somebody to come in, finish the project. Um, they did good work for me. Got it going, and we're producing electricity for the dairy right now, and it's moving forward.
Oh, that's really great. So the solar energy is working well in the dairy.
For the most part, there's a couple of hiccups, but with anything,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, what's something people might not know about raising cattle?
what is something people might not know about raising cattle?
Yeah, or maybe even what's something you want consumers to know about
Well,
when you're eating cheese or eating beef? What do you want them to know?
well, as far as raising cattle, I get asked a lot, is cow tipping real? And you know what? I don't know. I haven't been able to do it, but I'm sure somebody has.
that's that's an answer I've given too, I think. Absolutely. You can try. I don't know. I've never tried. That's fun. I like that. Is there anything else you want to add about what you do and the dairy industry, the beef industry, anything like that? Anything you want to add that you think, when we looped you into it 5 minutes ago to do this, that you're like, oh, I better say something, or maybe even about dairy producers of New Mexico or something.
The dairy industry and the beef industry, they're different, and they're similar in so many different ways. We got a lot of the same education that we have to do among people on how beef is made, to know that it just doesn't come from the grocery store. You can't just pick up milk from the grocery store, that somebody had to go out there, produce that milk, harvest the milk, process that milk, pick up the milk. How many different hands are involved in order to bring a healthy product to the grocery store, to your restaurants, that moves forward? And there's really a lot that goes into making sure that we have quality control all the way down the line to come up with just this most healthy, um,
Nutritious.
exactly,
Yeah.
nutritious products that we can come up with.
Absolutely. And I'm so grateful that there are so many hands and so much quality control and all the effort, because man, do I like to eat. I'm grateful somebody's raising food.
Yeah. My,
Thank
my my
goodness.
big deal is I like ice cream, and it's for some reason I eat a lot of it.
Yeah.
And then I like beef too. I mean, shoot, I had me a really good ribeye steak the other day, and so just do it New Mexican style is the way I like, putting Swiss cheese on there with a chili reno pepper or
Oh,
green
absolutely.
chili pepper, and it just
Well, you just skipped to my last question, but we'll ask you a couple more questions, and then we got to talk about that a little bit more. Why do you do what you do? What makes you continue, through hard days, through good days and bad days? Why do you keep doing it?
I think it's bred into me. I don't know. My dad had me going on the dairy since I was 10 years old, pushing up cows, working with calves. I mean, I probably was more of a hindrance on the calf crew when I was 10. They put me on the tractor for a long time, and then I realized when I wasn't there, the tractor just drove down the lane and they just turned it automatically for a while. Well, it
Yeah,
was fun. I thought I was doing a
fun to
great
be
job.
involved, right? Right.
Yes.
That's why we let our kids do things like that.
Oh, and it's something we can get our kids involved in, and it's make it a family type deal, and it creates a lot of opportunity to learn how to do things. And I like figuring out how to just make my operation run smoother and better and more even, and just try to progress. And if we're not progressing and making our industry better, I don't know if I'd be interested anymore. But I think our industry is going in great places. We are coming up with new technologies. We're coming up with new green technologies to try to bring down our greenhouse gases, and just to try to keep improving on our milk. I mean, milk and beef for that instinct, as far as going and giving trainings to our employees on how to handle animals and to move animals, and what animals are eligible to go to beef and which ones aren't, and just and then putting genetics in these animals that will be more efficient and grow faster and use less resources to keep creating as much beef as we can at the least amount of greenhouse gases. And
Yeah, absolutely. Low inputs and better cattle. We you in like the corporate world, they talk about continuous improvement, and they're always trying to. Well, there's no better example, in my opinion, of continuous improvement than agriculture and beef and dairy industries. You're constantly looking, okay, how can I have a better animal? How can I better care for this animal? More efficient, more everything.
And to say that, with all the technology, if you look back of what we used to feed cows all the way back into the 50s, all the way to now, the dairy industry, the beef industry, we have made substantial gains on how to be better for the environment, how to make healthier animals, and how just to keep providing the great quality product.
Absolutely. And then there's constantly research happening too, right? There's research on the food side, there's research on every side of the industry to attempt to continuously improve, right?
Oh, yeah, and we are, and we're going to see what happens. We added collars to our cows, which was a real interesting deal. And, for you guys that have Fitbits and stuff, that's basically what it does. It reads locomotion on the cow, so how much the cow is moving, and rumination. So rumination is, so when a cow eats, they eat their feed, and then they chew on it and chew their cud. It goes down to their abdomen, and then they cough it back up, and it's reading and recording how much they're doing that. And the Fitbit can almost pick out a problem better than it's finding them sooner than a lot of my guys were able to find them. And we made great health improvements on our herd just with that newer technology coming in.
Oh, I think that's incredible. I think the technology that's out there that, yeah, you can tell how much they're eating, if they're getting sick, if they're laying down too much, all these things that nobody's even paying attention to that for me, right? I'm a human, and nobody knows what's going on with my nutrition.
Yeah, we know what their lying down times are, eating times, and it's changed the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Technology is an important part. What about your involvement with Dairy Producers of New Mexico? How important is it to you to be involved and kind of give back to the industry?
I mean, if you look at our trade organizations, it doesn't matter if you're looking at beef, you're looking at dairy, you're looking at your grain guys. Everybody needs a trade organization. You gotta protect your industry. And the reason you need to protect it is because if you don't come up with what your industry needs, where's it's going, you don't educate your representatives on how things are working. People that do not understand the industry and know why you do what you do will try to go and make rules for you. And it's always a deal of trying to educate and to move forward for your customers of why you do the things you do. So
yeah, absolutely. And even our goal of our podcast is we want to tell the story, because if not, who's going to, right?
That exactly.
If not who?
If not who, and what is their goals? Or they may have something totally unaligned, which would be better for the cows, just because they picked it up somewhere, had some crazy idea, and I mean, we've tried ideas and they didn't work, and we went back to the way things were. But we just try to always make our cows as best as we can, take care of them, and come up with good quality products.
Yeah, absolutely. As you should. What is a piece of advice you'd give someone who might want to follow in your footsteps?
Well, just be ready for the good times, and there's going to be bad times, and always just keep trying to improve on whatever you're working on. There's new technology in there, and it's a wild ride. I mean, sometimes I think the stock market would be easier than gambling on dairy cows.
Yeah, and that resilience, it requires resilience, right?
Oh, it's my dad used to say, like 4 or 5, well, actually probably 10 years ago, yeah, we'd go and make money 6 months out of the year. It would break even 3 months out of the year, and then we'll lose money 3 months out of the year. And hopefully by the end of the year, we made a little bit left, and we're able to live good and supply everything. And now with the big swings that we have in our markets, it's like oh, we could lose money for a whole year. We could break even for 2 years, and we could make a good amount of money in 2 to 3 or 2 years and have a good run for a little while. But yeah, the resiliency, making farm decisions and trying to put puts where you buy feed in advanced or sell milk in advance and buy your options, playing that game a little bit to try to have insurance and what markets do is it's try to keep those swings out so it's more level-headed and you're able to plan for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a multifaceted business, right? You don't just get to go feed cows and go milk cows, right?
Well,
It's multifaceted.
I pay, I mean, on our team, I mean, we have our veterinarian, we have our nutritionist, we have a feed manager that go in and make sure that feed is taken quality and that we're doing, good quality feed. We're not feeding anything moldy or anything, or try to at least limit it to, well, try to eradicate it, I should say.
Yeah, absolutely.
For the most part.
Yeah. So those many hands make a quality product.
Yeah, and I couldn't do what I could do without the people that I have that help me and get this done.
Absolutely. Okay, so unless there's anything else you wanted to make sure and add, my last question I always like to ask is your current favorite way to eat beef, which you already alluded to it, but your favorite way to eat beef.
Well, I like beef in a lot of different ways, but I like it to make a tri-tip sandwich every now and then. That's always tasty. I'm like, oh, we're having tri-tip tonight. Oh, I'm gonna have some leftover tri-tip.
Oh, I love the leftover.
I'm gonna go toast my bread. I'm gonna go stick my mayonnaise and my mustard, my lettuce, my tomato, and my nice slices of tri-tip on there. And then I always put a healthy chunk of pepper jack cheese on top of that too.
As you should.
And that's a sandwich I like to make. So
absolutely. So a tri-tip sandwich leftovers, that's just the best. Sometimes when we make tri-tip or even like meatloaf, I'm ready for day 2. The first day is like, all right, obligation, it's good, but that second day.
yeah, I'll be.
Yep, that's fun.
But no, I do. Yeah, I like my steaks, and I bounce around back and forth. So I'm not going to limit it just to one recipe.
Yeah, absolutely. I think my favorite answer was sometimes someone said their favorite way to eat beef is often.
You know what? That makes absolutely sense.
Yeah, that's a pretty clever one. So, well, thank you so much for agreeing to be on the podcast, even though you were quite literally voluntold. So, I really appreciate it. And most importantly, we appreciate what you do for the industry as a volunteer and what you do for, consumers and the world by putting high quality product on our plates. So thank you.
I enjoy doing it, and it's makes me feel whole inside.
I love that. And thank you for being on the podcast. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in for another episode. Behind the Burger is produced by the New Mexico Beef Council to celebrate the people and stories behind New Mexico beef. Thanks for listening. Follow the show so you never miss an episode and connect with us on social media for more behind-the-scenes stories and updates. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at NM Beef and on Facebook at NM Beef Council. We'll see you next time, and until then, beef, it's what's for dinner.